Welcome to Ideazid, where today we're stepping onto the classic colonial porch and exploring the art of the colonial porch. Timeless fall curb appeal and traditional styling 2026. Imagine symmetrical architecture, rich autumn foliage, lantern-lit entryways, classic rocking chairs, vintage-inspired planters, and warm layers of burgundy, deep green, amber, and natural wood. This is fall decorating with a sense of history, and in 2026, that traditional look feels more sophisticated than ever. From simple front doors to grand colonial entrances, we'll discover how thoughtful layering can transform an ordinary porch into a welcoming autumn statement without sacrificing elegance. So stay with us until the end for the details that make a colonial porch feel truly authentic. And if you love timeless home decoration ideas, don't forget to subscribe to Ideazid, like this video and comment below with the colonial fall detail you'd love to try at your own home. Let's begin our journey into the art of traditional autumn curb appeal. The art of the colonial porch, timeless fall curb appeal and traditional styling 2026. In this video, Ideazid explores elegant colonial porch decorating ideas, traditional fall curb appeal, classic front porch styling, and timeless fall home decor inspired by American heritage architecture. Discover how to combine symmetrical planters, vintage lanterns, heirloom pumpkins, burgundy and evergreen foliage, classic rocking chairs, plaid textiles, natural wood, brick, and antique-inspired accents to create a welcoming and sophisticated colonial fall porch. The first principle of a beautiful colonial porch is surprisingly simple: symmetry. Traditional colonial architecture is celebrated for its balanced proportions, and your fall decorating should complement, not compete with, that structure. Begin by looking at your entryway as a composition. If you have a centered front door, create visual balance with matching planters, lanterns, urns, or pairs of pumpkins on either side. Even when your porch is small, symmetry can immediately make the entrance feel more intentional and refined. Choose decorations that repeat in pairs rather than filling every available corner. Two classic urns overflowing with autumn foliage can create more impact than a dozen unrelated accessories. Think of the architecture as your canvas, and let every decorative element reinforce its geometry. The result is a porch that feels collected, graceful, and distinctly colonial rather than simply decorated for the season. Every colonial porch needs a strong focal point, and that focal point is almost always the front door. In fall, the door becomes an opportunity to introduce warmth without overwhelming the architecture. A deep navy, traditional black, forest green, or rich oxblood door can provide a dramatic backdrop for autumn accents. Add a refined wreath made from magnolia leaves, dried branches, berries, eucalyptus, or seasonal foliage. Instead of choosing an oversized arrangement that hides the door, look for a composition with elegant proportions. Brass hardware, a classic knocker, or an antique-inspired door lantern can complete the look. And remember, the goal isn't to make the entrance look trendy. It's to make it look as though the home has always welcomed autumn this way. That sense of permanence is what gives colonial decorating its unmistakable charm. Traditional fall decorating doesn't have to mean bright orange everywhere. For an elevated colonial porch in 2026, consider a more restrained palette inspired by nature and historic interiors. Deep burgundy brings richness, evergreen introduces depth, warm caramel adds softness, while cream and aged brown keep everything grounded. Muted pumpkins can replace highly saturated orange, creating a more sophisticated harvest atmosphere. Add touches of copper or antique brass for subtle warmth. The secret is repetition. Carry the same colors from the wreath to the planters, from the pumpkins to the textiles, so the porch feels visually connected. Imagine burgundy berries echoing a burgundy door, green foliage repeating the surrounding landscape, and cream pumpkins balancing darker architectural elements. This is how a seasonal color palette becomes an elegant design language rather than a collection of decorations. As daylight fades earlier in autumn, lighting becomes one of the most important elements of your porch design. Colonial homes are naturally suited to lantern-style lighting, and this is where traditional styling can become especially atmospheric. Choose lanterns with classic silhouettes, aged brass finishes, black metal frames, or antique-inspired details. Position matching lanterns around the entrance for symmetry, or use one statement lantern beside the door if space is limited. During the evening, warm illumination can transform the entire facade, highlighting columns, brickwork, steps, and autumn foliage. Think beyond simple brightness. The right lighting creates mood. It makes the porch feel like a place where someone might pause after dinner, sit beneath a blanket, and watch the leaves move in the evening breeze. That quiet glow is one of the easiest ways to make traditional fall curb appeal feel luxurious. A beautiful porch shouldn't only look inviting, it should feel inviting. That's why classic seating is essential to the colonial aesthetic. Rocking chairs, Windsor-style chairs, traditional wooden benches, or a simple painted porch swing can instantly create a sense of heritage and hospitality. For fall, layer the seating with neutral cushions, plaid throws, or textured pillows in muted autumn colors. Avoid overly coordinated sets. A slightly collected appearance often feels more authentic, especially when combining wood-woven textures and traditional fabrics. Place a pair of chairs facing outward toward the garden or driveway, creating a visual suggestion of conversation and relaxation. Add a small side table for a lantern or seasonal arrangement. Suddenly, your porch becomes more than curb appeal. It becomes an extension of the living space. Pumpkins are essential to fall, but the Colonial Porch calls for a more curated approach. Instead of placing identical pumpkins in a straight line, create natural groupings using different sizes, shapes, and textures. Combine traditional pumpkins with heirloom varieties, pale gourds, mini pumpkins, and understated decorative pieces. Arrange them beside steps, around planters, or near the front door while keeping the main pathway clear. Consider stacking a few pumpkins on a vintage wooden crate or placing them inside a classic basket. The key is variation without visual chaos. Let the pumpkins look as though they naturally belong to the landscape. A few carefully chosen pieces can create far more sophistication than covering every surface. Remember, colonial style celebrates restraint, and sometimes the most luxurious fall porch is the one that knows when to stop. Few elements feel more naturally suited to colonial architecture than substantial planters and urns. They provide height, structure, and a connection between the house and the landscape. For fall, fill them with combinations of evergreen branches, ornamental grasses, trailing foliage, chrysanthemums, dried hydrangeas, or seasonal branches. Choose containers in stone, aged terracotta, painted wood, or classic metal finishes. Place matching planters on both sides of the entryway to emphasize symmetry. If your porch is narrow, use taller vertical arrangements instead of wide compositions. The objective is to frame the architecture rather than obscure it. Think of the plants as punctuation marks around your front door. They guide the eye toward the entrance and create a natural transition from garden to home. The magic of a colonial porch doesn't come from color alone. It comes from texture. Natural wood adds warmth, brick introduces visual history, wicker creates relaxed comfort, while brass contributes a subtle sense of refinement. Layering these materials gives the porch depth and makes it more interesting as the light changes throughout the day. A wooden bench beside a brick wall, a woven basket filled with branches, and an aged brass lantern can create a sophisticated composition without requiring expensive decoration. Avoid using too many shiny or synthetic materials. Traditional colonial style works best when surfaces feel tactile, slightly aged, and connected to nature. Even new homes can capture this character by selecting materials that have visual weight and timeless appeal. Now comes the layer that brings softness to all that architectural structure: textiles. Fall is the perfect season for introducing plaid, wool, cotton, linen, and traditional woven patterns. A tartan throw draped casually over a rocking chair can instantly suggest autumn without becoming overly seasonal. Look for patterns in forest green, burgundy, camel, cream, navy, or warm brown. If you prefer a quieter look, choose solid neutral cushions and introduce pattern through just one blanket or pillow. Heritage patterns work particularly well because they complement the history-inspired character of colonial design. The goal is not to create a themed porch, but a porch that feels comfortable, warm, and naturally prepared for cooler evenings. Once the major elements are in place, it's time for the details. This is where you can introduce personality through vintage-inspired accessories. Consider an old-fashioned doormat, a weathered wooden stool, antique-style brass accessories, a classic watering can, woven baskets, or a small stack of decorative objects. But choose carefully. Every piece should feel as though it belongs to the story of the house. One beautiful vintage lantern can have more character than 5 generic seasonal signs. Avoid excessive lettering, novelty decorations, or anything that overwhelms the architecture. Colonial styling is at its best when the details feel discovered rather than purchased all at once. Let a few imperfections add authenticity. The result should feel layered over time, with every object contributing to the atmosphere. And there you have it, the art of creating a timeless colonial porch for fall 2026. From symmetry and classic lanterns to rich autumn colors, traditional seating, layered pumpkins, elegant planters, heritage textiles, and vintage-inspired details, the secret is never about adding more. It's about choosing the right elements and allowing the architecture to lead the design. A truly beautiful colonial porch should feel welcoming, balanced, warm, and connected to the season while remaining timeless enough to look beautiful year after year. So as you decorate your own entrance this autumn, remember, start with structure, build with texture, introduce seasonal color thoughtfully, and finish with details that tell a story. Which idea from today's colonial porch transformation would you bring to your home first? Tell us in the comments below. And if this video inspired your next fall decorating project, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Ideazid, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next elegant home decoration inspiration. Share this video with someone who loves traditional autumn style. And come back soon for even more timeless decorating ideas.